like a Rang De could be made in today's India? Like, is it possible?
I believe that a lot of people are being very careful now about the subjects that they write about and that they make.
I'd like to be a fly on the wall on your dining table.
I don't know if you've ever had dinner with a bunch of actors. We tend to talk about ourselves a lot. Some very entertaining people at the dinner table. And I would say the most entertaining are probably Kareena and Kunal.
Saif's house was burgled. Everybody was talking about safety aspect.
It was a very random incident that happened. It was a lapse in security. My own flat was broken into 10 years ago and Kunal caught the thief.
Do you support that kind of thing where actresses are saying that no, as a mom, I will work only these many hours and these are my demands?
If your producer is able to and feels, am I getting enough out of this person to make it worthwhile for me to take this person, then I will do that. And if I'm not, then I might have to take someone else. There are not too many Deepika Padukones out there.
Yeah.
So she may be able to get what she wants. And what she's asking for, I feel I empathize with as a mother. Yeah. I would want to have it all.
Your mother's side, the Tagore connection?
Rabindranath Tagore had, I think, about 14 siblings. And his brother, Gaganendranath Tagore, who was a painter and brought Cubism to India, actually. He was Amma's great-grandfather.
This episode is powered by easemytrip.com. Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching or listening to another edition of the Inner Podcast with Smita Prakash. This episode is being filmed in Mumbai. My guest today is Soha Ali Khan, author, actor and podcaster. Soha Ali Khan is the daughter of Sharmila Tagore and Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi. She's best known for the role she played in Rang De Basanti, a cult film in the early 2000s. Soha, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was lovely having you here.
I'm very excited.
So, I've interviewed your mom, I've interviewed your dad, and I've interviewed... Yes.
Abba also?
Yes. When he was standing for election. In Bhopal.
Oh my God, ages ago.
Yeah, ages ago. I date back that much.
No, that's not what I meant. I just meant it was a while ago.
Yeah, I was working for a foreign network, news network, and it was Prince versus the Monk at that time. And the Monk came number 3 or something like that. He lost the election.
Really?
But yeah, so I've interviewed your dad, your mom, and your husband. So great to have you now here.
Nice to join the bandwagon.
So how's the podcast doing? How are you happy having that?
I don't know what the parameters are to judge this, but I am enjoying it, number one. And I think the comments have been more or less positive, which is also a good sign.
You're brave that you're reading the comments.
I read and reply to I think I've replied to every single comment.
I don't read comments because I'm so nervous.
No, you've been doing it for a while because you're nervous.
Yeah, because I get nervous to see negativity.
So I'm used to it. I'm very used to it. And I've also replied to some of the negative comments.
Oh.
So I appreciate your feedback. And one of them was actually appropriately negative. And I've understood that our audience is actually quite astute.
Oh. Okay, also because I guess you sound like you're in the hospitality sector, that I appreciate your comments.
No, but I really do. Also, I'm new to it. And I'm used to we work on screen where you don't get immediate feedback. True. And you don't have this kind of dialogue. So I really enjoyed the dialogue.
Oh, okay. That's nice. That's a very mature way of looking at it. I have to learn. But, it's quite... I appreciate the way you reinvent yourself at your own pace. Yeah. That whenever I want to do this, when I'm ready, I'll do this. And that's the way you've done. And I think it's a family trait or something like that.
No, I think it's perhaps... I'd like to think I'm like my father. I feel like everyone else in the family is slightly more goal-driven, perhaps. And especially my mother. My mother was working very hard from a very young age with very single-minded focus. Like she wanted to be an actor. And from the age of 17, she was doing that. And she's doing it today.
Yeah.
She just had, I think she had 2 movie releases this past year. So she's actually one of the most employed actors in our family today, perhaps.
And also, she attempts, like I said, at your own pace. She took a break in between. She came back.
That's true. She did. She was led by her heart. She got married. She had children. She did both, but then she took a break. But she hasn't really wanted to take a very long break, I think. And she, perhaps you're right. Perhaps we do reinvent ourselves at our own pace.
She did OTT. She's done
what she's wanted to, I suppose, yes.
Most screen people are told that don't attempt TV or don't attempt OTT because then coming back to the screen is hard. At least her generation people.
Yes.
The younger lot will be experimentative, but her generation got stuck in molds.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't see Dharminder doing an OTT
Yeah.
or, you know, any of them.
Yes.
But she, like Amitabh Bachchan, I feel, is open to, you know, new directors, new formats.
Yeah, I think she enjoys the medium very much and she likes to hone her craft and keep working. So I feel like if it interests you, the distribution of it, the things that are other people's domain, she doesn't really get too involved in beyond a point. She says, I'm an actor, I'm going to do my part. And then the media, the medium that it's presented in could be secondary almost, whether it's OTT, whether it's television, whether it's on the big screen.
To think that Rang De Basanti happened 20 years ago.
I cannot imagine how time is going by so quickly. I can't wrap my head around it.
And you still look the same.
No, that's not true.
Yes, you still look like a young girl, straight out of, you know, that college group. That
From a
was
distance.
There.
Yeah.
But people still come to you and talk to you about
I think it's
program.
because I'm petite, then I look the same. But people do. It's been one of the most, I think, memorable and liked films of my career, certainly.
Are you okay with that when people come up to you and talk to you about that?
I'm more excited that they talk to me about that. Usually people come up to me and say, you know, we're such big fans of Tiger Pataudi, Sharmila Tagore, Taimur, Kareena,
Taimur
Inaya, Kunal, like it's usually somebody else. So if they were actually to talk about a film that I'm a part of, I'm very excited.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Now that you've listed them all.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
That's a lot. But it must be like I just wonder, I'd like to be a fly on the wall on your dining table. What that's like.
I don't know if you've ever had dinner with a bunch of actors. We tend to talk about ourselves a lot. But having said that, there are also some very entertaining people at the dinner table. And I would say the most entertaining are probably Kareena and Kunal.
Okay.
You know, they really make us all laugh.
Your brother has a great sense of humor.
He is, of course.
Very dry.
So do I. And so does Amma in her own way. And so did my father. And, you know, so does my sister a little bit. But I really feel like on a good day, then Kunal and Kareena, perhaps the ones that make us laugh the most.
Really? Okay. And the repartee bit that your brother has and you have, who does that come from?
I would say it comes a little bit from our common upbringing, which also has to do with my father, genetically perhaps, but also with our exposure to studying abroad, being in England, having a sort of self-deprecating humor, and just having a sense of humor also.
But you, when you were in London in school, your brother had already finished with schooling, right?
No, so we are 9.5 years apart. And he was in Winchester for schooling while I was growing up. I only went for university.
You went for university, okay. He didn't go
No, he didn't go to university.
I
think he was supposed to. He was supposed to
go.
Go.
Also, didn't he?
He went to a few schools. He did. And then he had his longest stint, I think, was at Winchester for a while. And then when he came back, I think he was supposed to go to university. And I think he did also board a plane and he did go off somewhere. But then he returned shortly after. And then he, I think it was not for him. And he decided to go to Mumbai.
Okay.
And I think he did an anti-dandruff hair commercial. And that's where it all started.
Was it you're the conformist, went to school, college, proper girl?
I'm the one who wanted to make my parents proud and was very, also, I think, trying to carve my own identity. And I realized that not many of these people go to university. Not many of them who go to university actually complete their degrees. So let me be the academic one. And maybe I'll be able to then, you know, have some identity in this family of superstars.
And Sabha is in the middle or she?
She's the middle one.
She's the middle one.
And she's more artistic. She went to the Delhi College of Art and she went to the GIA, Gemology Institute of America. And she did jewelry designing.
Okay.
And even now, I think she's more artistically inclined.
She never got into films then?
She would not want to be on camera.
Yeah.
Not at all. But she enjoys being behind the scenes. She enjoys photography and she's the first day. We don't even see a lot of each other's films. But she will go and see and imagine everybody in the family, and there's a lot of them. She'll go and see everyone's films.
Did Saif try cricket ever or you do any sport?
I play lots of sports, racket sports mainly. Not much cricket. But I'm a good fielder. I think I have good hand-eye coordination. But batting and bowling, we were not exposed to much growing up. So I never really had a chance to. But tennis, badminton, I still play a lot of badminton.
Okay. And that's because of your family or just school, college?
we played badminton growing up at home. And I think in the garden there was a little badminton court. And Abba played. And we also played cricket.
Okay.
But I was fielding. I think I was made to stand as the wicket also at some point.
Don't tell me
yeah,
that.
behind the batsman.
Horrible.
Yeah. So I was the youngest in the family. But we're good. And Bhai did play some cricket. I think his cricket high point was one of the IFAs in South Africa, where, and there'll be a clip of it somewhere, where he caught a very good catch at the boundary. And
so I was thrilled.
Yeah, we talked about it for a long time.
Okay. How did films happen to you?
It happened, there were offers growing up, but I stayed away from them and I was kept away from them. I think it was quite clear that nobody wanted any of the children to work in films, certainly my sister or me.
Nobody bole to your dad? Or?
Abba and Amma,
Okay, both.
basically, yeah. I mean, they were never the kind of people to say, aisa karo, vaisa karo. But the approval and the disapproval was made apparent in more subtle ways. So I understood that maybe I should be doing something else. And then I did try and I studied history and international relations. And then I worked at the Ford Foundation. And I wanted to work at the United Nations. I did a brief stint there. Then I chose the Ford Foundation. Then I went and worked at Citigroup. The idea was to move to England and have a job and work over there. And everyone would be very happy. And then they decided to train me in Mumbai. So they said, okay, we'll do a 1 year in Citigroup in Mumbai. And that's when I came here. And I lived with my brother. And my mother said, you're going to live with your brother. Just promise me you will not be influenced by him. So I said, okay, what does that mean? So she said, just do whatever you want. Do not join the films. Everything is going very well.
Okay.
So I said, of course not. And then I think it was about 5 months later that I was doing my first film.
Okay, so much for parents. It's like I was told, kuch bhi karo, but journalism mat karo.
There you go. But why? Journalism is...
No, because, moms and dads, they want you to have a stable career.
Right. Same.
And so when I got into journalism, it wasn't a stable career.
No.
It was not like it was... no solid work hours and liberalization hadn't happened. So, you only had print journalism. Television was just Doordarshan.
Right.
There was nothing happening. So it was
Right.
like, do whatever you want to, but not journalism. You won't get a job.
Right.
So that way. But yeah, in films also the insecurity of not knowing, where the next movie is coming or not coming. There's no paycheck.
No, there's no monthly paycheck.
Monthly,
and
yeah.
we have monthly expenses.
Yeah.
Also, there's no regular employment. So, either you're working very hard or you're not working at all. So I think you have to be, as a personality, slightly evenly keeled to, or not. I mean, you may choose to live a life that is slightly up and down, but my personality is quite even. So I think they just thought it's an odd choice for me to make. And perhaps it was, but I did enjoy acting. And I really thought that that's all that mattered and everything else would fall into place. And I would try it. And that if it didn't work out, then I always felt I'll be able to do something else.
Okay. And Rang De, how did that happen?
Rang De happened with auditions. It's, I think, the only film I auditioned for. And I think everybody auditioned, of course, except Amir, for the parts that we played. And it must have gone well. I know a lot of people auditioned, but Rakesh Prakash, my director, he did 3 scenes with me, and I felt that I'd done well in the audition. And then we got a call and he said, you're on board. I'd already done 2 films, Hindi films and a Bengali film before that. And I understood that this was going to be, a wonderful project to be a part of. I don't think anyone anticipated how well it would do.
Yeah.
And more than just the commercial success of it, I don't think anybody understood that it was going to turn into a movement of sorts.
I mean, it was done on a shoestring budget or something, right?
It was.
You shot outdoors, so that must have been expensive. And in spite of that, the film became such a super duper hit. Yeah. When you first figured out that this movie has become like a cult film, what was your thought about it, that I could have done this differently or something like that?
Firstly, it was a relief to be a part of a film that has done so well. It's always nice.
What were the other 2 films you said? Bengali
Dil
film?
Mange Bo. My first film was Iti Shikanto, which was a well critically acclaimed and received film, but a small film in Bengal. Dil Mange Mo, that didn't go down so well. And there was another film, which I'm sure you'll... I can't remember. Yeah, my second film. There was... Dimple Kapadia and Rishi Kapoor.
Okay.
Sameer Dattani and myself. Pyar Mein Twist.
Yeah, of course.
No, it's all right for you.
That was in London or something, right?
No, it was very much in. It was in Mauritius.
Somewhere,
Perhaps you were
right?
pretending to be in London, but it was Mauritius.
Where it's an old,
yes,
it's a mature love or something like that, right?
I think they're divorced and separate. I mean, and then you know.
Okay, some hazy memory of watching it on a flight.
Yeah, really. Okay. So there was that, and then Rang De was my third.
Okay. So do you think that like a Rang De could be made in today's India? Like, is it possible, that kind of bold subject?
I don't know. I believe that a lot of people are being very careful now about the subjects that they write about and that they make. Even at that point, I think to on-screen assassinate the defense minister, to kill your father, a lot of people said, oh, this is irresponsible because it's a very violent film. And what is the message that you're giving to the audience? And I remember these were, of course, questions that we didn't have to grapple with as young actors. And I was not doing any of those scenes also. But I remember conversations being had. And the director, Rakesh ji, said that, I have faith in the audience to make the difference between what is on screen and what is done for a particular plot relevance and for me to be able to tell my story. And I know that they're not going to take from this is something that we want them to do. And he was right, because I know when the Jessica Lal verdict came in and the protests that took place in Delhi and India Gate looked very similar to the ones that our characters were staging in the film. So people do, I think, are able to make the distinction if they want to.
Yeah. So the movies that are coming in now, and I don't blame filmmakers, because as soon as you make a film, if you offend, and everybody is getting offended these days.
Right before the release.
Yeah. So you get offended, and then, they attack the theaters or burn showing or something like that. And you can't remake a movie then.
Yes.
You can't reshoot some. And at times you can't even make the cuts.
Right.
So be careful while making it.
Right.
So when you're super careful doing this, artistic license, if it's curbed so much, then you end up making such anodyne films that those are flopping.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of people who are saying that even the so-called brave filmmakers are just correcting themselves while making the film.
Right.
In anticipation of a backlash.
Right.
And in my view, that's not a happy situation. If filmmakers or artists censor themselves. Right.
I mean, they say that arts and culture and a vibrant arts and cultural environment are the sign of a healthy nation.
Yeah.
And we've seen that time and time again. I sit in rooms sometimes where people are thinking about what kind of films to make. And there certainly is a sense of self-censorship.
Yeah.
And we do that not even as filmmakers. When we're sending messages on the phone or when we're having conversations, even in closed doors, sometimes we do stop to think. Who's listening. And that makes me think that, we've had this conversation on my own podcast where we were talking with Faye and Palki, and we were talking about freedom of speech. And it was interesting to hear from them also. And there were differing opinions. Some people feel that, yes, of course, there are some instances, but it's not enough to say, and look at the rest of the world. And where, you look at America and look at us, and we're actually not doing so badly. And then you have another side that says, no, we are faring quite badly. And just the fact that we censor ourselves and that we stop and think. Certainly when it comes to public dissemination of information, whether it's what you're doing on a news platform or whether it's we're doing as arts and culture, if we're not able to say exactly what we want to. I know in America, not now, but there was a film on the assassination of George Bush, which they had. And I remember thinking, wow, they can make a film where you can assassinate the sitting president and actually show that. No,
but even in America, if you notice, rom-coms are just not doing well.
No.
Right? Because certain things which, like if Friends were to be made now, you won't make it that way. There are so many jokes which haven't aged well in the sense that, that's considered, you can't laugh at homosexuality, you can't laugh at, which in those days you could. You could laugh at somebody walking in a particular way because she was a gay or lesbian or whatever, you can't laugh at those jokes anymore.
Right.
You can't laugh at somebody being queer. You can't laugh at physical or mental disability anymore.
Right.
So that takes away a whole bunch of things.
Right.
Even in speech,
Right.
you can't say certain things which was okay just about 10 years ago.
Yes.
It's not okay now.
I think that it's always about at least for me, and you're right, but I think it's the intent. And sometimes when you talk or you listen or you watch, sometimes if the intent is clean and you are able to, you're not bullying somebody, you're not taking an issue and making a point through it, you're just speaking in a way without filter, in a healthy way. I'm trying to be articulate here because I know that it's a sensitive subject, but I think it's the intent that matters. And if there is no malicious intent, it still goes down well. Sometimes these things in today's day and age are said with a malicious intent, and therefore, and maybe that makes people uncomfortable. But having said that, some people are erring, and some people are wondering why there's so much erring on the safe side and being politically correct, because it is making things very vanilla and very dry, and we're not able to laugh in the ways that we used to. I feel that there are some people from more perhaps marginalized, less vocalized communities who are feeling represented today. And they feel like, okay, at least somebody is recognizing our angst, our journeys, and, we feel more protected. So the advantage of this is that is happening. And that's not a bad thing. Whether it's people from the spectrum, whether it's people from different kinds of sexualities, identities, there's an understanding now. When it came to Me Too, for example, also, now people are saying, oh, you have to be so careful about the language you use. And men have been saying sweetie and this and that and commenting on the way women dress for so long. And now, oh, it's so inconvenient that we have to not do this. But that's a good thing. So, of course, that line is different for different people. What people find funny is also different for different people. Something is you're always laughing at people slipping on a banana peel and getting hurt. Humor generally happens at somebody's expense. And that has happened from Charlie Chaplin's time.
Is it, Houseful, the latest number 3, number 4, whatever.
Or 5, I think it is.
Or whatever, has just released. And there was so much of criticism of the humor. Whereas the similar kind of, absurd stuff that they did in this sequel as compared to number 1 or 2, even in those it was like that, laughing at women wearing skimpy clothes and ogling at women. It was so funny and such a big hit in the 1 and 2 episode, and now people are talking about it on social media and saying, why does he have to do this? It's gross to have ogling at a woman's legs.
But is that a bad thing?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not sure.
But it didn't do well. See, it was a whole bunch of people of the same age group, when that age group 10 years back or 5 years back laughed at those jokes. That same age group today finds it obnoxious because now we are conditioned to say that you can't ogle at women like this and it's not funny.
But I feel like, not talking about specific films, but I feel like certain things like sexism or women or saying certain dialogues, if people are not finding that funny, then I'm okay with that.
So like if you were to watch a Govinda Karishma Kapoor song, now we all found that cute, those songs very cute, and those gestures which they did very cute and funny and everything. They're not funny anymore. You can't imagine any actor doing those moves or the songs, sexy.
But now even people are not breaking into song in general. They're just like, why is there a song here? And why are there 5 costume changes? And, it's slowing down. And anyway, the songs that used to be 5 minutes long in my mother's day, and some of her films are just song after song after song with a little bit of dialogue interspersed. Now people are listening to songs for maybe 40 seconds. 50 seconds at the most.
I'm listening to podcasts.
And we're listening to podcasts, but those can range up to 2 hours. So there's something for everybody. But it's interesting to think about whether, we want to do what people want as artists, whether you want to give them more and have a template and say, this is working and let's just do what's working. Or you want to do something that is different and maybe give them what you think is good for them or something that is just break away a little bit. And I feel like there's a lot of templatization happening. People tend to do what is successful. And to be original and to break away is a little bit scary because, of course, at the end of the day, everyone then wants to be successful. And if this has worked, let's do more of this. But, the first person to... And I think sometimes when you do something new and it works, then that's wonderful also. The idea should be to encourage people to do different things.
So that's something that you consciously didn't do, right? You didn't chase success. That's not what you wanted to.
I have never chased success.
Success as the world defines it. Motherhood is a success story too.
Oh, I
Parenting
love
is a
that.
success
Yeah.
story too. So
I'm assuming
that-
success equals to
the
fame
way-
and fortune.
fame and fortune.
And that has never, it sounds very, privileged to say, but it's never been a driving force. Also because I have the security of a certain amount of money, a certain amount of family security. So I'm able to say that, and I understand that that comes from privilege. But also having seen fame and fortune very closely in the people that I love around me, I've understood that it's very fleeting, it comes and goes, and it should not define your sense of self. Money is very, very important. We all should we should all have access and be able to earn a certain amount of money to be able to afford certain things that make us happy. And that can range from here to there, but a certain basic standard of living. For me, the things that are important, I want to earn enough of my own money to be able to spend. I want to be able to buy the things that I like and enjoy without having to justify that to anyone.
Sure.
And that can only come when I have my own bank account and I don't share that with anybody, and I put my own money into it and I take my own money out of it. And I want that to always continue. But that's the driving force. And then beyond that, it's the happiness that I get from this one very short life, and the people that I'm very close to. And for me, really, the happiness and the success comes from being able to spend enough quality time with them.
You talked about ups and downs and fleeting successes and stuff like that in this line. You must have been very young when your mom had this huge success and she was this big movie star. She was always a big movie star, but this, like she had that cult following and things like that, and Kashmir Ki Kali, and this is absolute gorgeous lady and did all that. But you led a sheltered life. They kept you away from seeing that success, but you saw the ups and downs in your brother's career.
Yes.
You saw him rise and then fall
Yes.
and then rise again.
Yes.
Again reinvented himself.
Yes.
From the chocolate boy
Yeah.
to later. So when you saw him go through that, what was his support structure at that time? Was it family, or was he strong enough to take that back down and up?
I think he's certainly seen lots of ups and downs. But having said that, I've also seen that, ups and downs are relative for people. He had professional successes and failures, films that were hits and then not. But I've always seen him as somebody people have been excited to work with, somebody who people have said, oh, Saif is a very versatile actor. And, it may not be the biggest budget film, but somebody's always been very excited to work with him. So I feel like, there were no real downs. I genuinely feel that, I've seen lots of people who've had downs. So I think that his were normal ups and downs, and he's still, doing remarkably well. And, he is financially, commercially, personally in a good place.
No, from doing those dancing boy ole ole kind of
To
movies
and then to become Langra Tyagi.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He kept reinventing.
And to do
like-
Sacred Games.
Yeah, Sacred Games. So, it kept changing, and he realized this has shelf life for so long.
Yes.
I'm going to redo and I'm going to do this. I'm presuming that's what he did. And he completely changed when he did Langra Tyagi.
Yes.
And then he came Sacred Games.
Yes.
And so one expects him to keep doing something like that.
Yeah.
You don't expect that linear
No.
thing with him.
No, I think that he is versatile and he is able to do a number of things. And we all enjoyed him as Langra Tyagi also because it's always exciting to play a villain. And then he has these beautiful, very expressive eyes that are very, you kind of feel for the villain.
Both of you.
Well, yeah, thank you. So I think that that's lovely when you can bring an element of grey, and everybody is grey in the world. So when you bring an element of grey and you sympathize and you empathize with, even a quote unquote evil character, then, you're adding layers to that performance. So I think that he will always, given opportunities that are exciting, of course, opportunities, then he will want to do this, that, and the other.
Because he's so urban,
Yeah.
and clearly, city bred, educated, speaks English fluently, and then to take him and put him in a rustic environment and speak in that rustic manner, I didn't expect it.
No.
And when he did perform well, it came as a fabulous surprise.
Yes.
And that's what you want.
And he
from
worked
an
so
actor.
hard, he was learning those lines. He was saying those dialogues, I think, a month before the film.
Okay.
And I think he understood it's going to be a challenge.
Huh.
And I think he was up to the challenge.
And you taking a break from 7 years?
I don't know. I think
6, 7
probably
years
about 6
with-
or 7 years for
Yeah.
the big screen. We did some stuff on OTT in the middle. And then, of course, when Inaya was born, I took a nice long
Sahib, Bibi or
Gangster 3
is the one that one last saw you on the big screen.
I think there
So-
was Ghayal 2 with Sunny Deol after that. And then there's one that we've shot in last year, at the end of last year, which hopefully will release this year, which will...
Okay.
Again, the idea is for it to be on the big screen. We did Chori 2, which was a movie, but it was an Amazon film.
Okay, but why the slow pace?
The slow pace is for the main reason is that, okay, for a while I found it difficult to leave the house when I became a parent. But that was about 8 years ago. I feel like to leave home and to leave Inaya in her formative years, I wanted it to be worthwhile. And I was also 38 when I had her. And I felt like this is the time when I'm very happy to be a hands-on parent. And, she's my only child. So I'm very happy to give it quite a lot of focus. And I've become a little obsessive about lots of things in my life and people. So I was happy to do that.
Did Kunal tell you that it's time to get back to work?
No, Kunal will never tell me that it's time to get back to work. He probably said, maybe you should spend some more time with me and less time with just
Because
her.
I just had Rani Mukherjee on the podcast, just interviewed her. And so she took a couple of months, I think 18 months or something like that, when she had a baby. And her husband, who's an extremely private person, you rarely see. And so he was like, you're not just a mom, you need to do something on your own, otherwise you'll get obsessive.
Yes.
So she got out and she started acting, and it comes with its challenges, right? You have to express milk, you have to do that when you're doing that period. It was hard, but she decided to consciously go that route.
Yes.
Where she said that I continued to do it, but that was it. Like, she had those work hours and she would go home.
Yes.
No question. Exactly what Deepika is supposed to be telling her producers now, I believe.
Right.
Do you support that kind of thing where actresses are saying that no, as a mom, I will work only these many hours and these are my demands, standing by what you're saying?
I think that, firstly, for me personally, it comes to 7 p.m. and I go a little cuckoo because it's bedtime. And you understand that bedtime is so precious. The thought of somebody else putting your child to bed, you want to be there. Of course, like if Kunal is there, then it's fine. But I feel like even though I have a wonderful support system at home, I want to be that person because those are the moments. And children have very brief, short memories. So if something has happened in the day, the next day she's forgotten about it. And those little things culminate in her personality, in shaping who she is. And then I've missed out. So nothing is as important to me, but I understand on a film production that you work for 12 hours and it's a commitment and it's a lot of people putting a lot of money into it. So I think that has to be each to their own. If you're in a position whereby you can say that I'm only going to work for 8 hours and I would like to then leave, if your producer is able to and feels, okay, am I getting enough out of this person to make it worthwhile for me to take this person, then I will do that. And if I'm not, then I might have to take someone else. So I understand that...
Market economics.
Market economics and, there are not too many Deepika Padukones out there.
Yeah.
So she may be able to get what she wants. And what she's asking for, I feel I empathize with as a mother.
Yeah.
I would want to have it all. I would want a system whereby I can work 8 hours a day and also then spend some time with my
Have
child.
one parent at least at home.
I'll have one parent or one parent, one grandparent, one trusted
somebody.
nanny. There are lots of people. There's a huge support system.
You had your dad when your mom was going to work, right? Your dad was a stay-at-home?
My mother went to Mississippi, like she was shooting Mississippi Masala for 3 months. She had gone. In a time where you couldn't FaceTime for free. There was one landline. It was very expensive to call America. So we would write letters every day until my father told me, I'm not posting a letter every day to America. You write once a week. So I said, okay, fine. I'll write once a week. And we missed her terribly. And I was very young. But she was, and then she would be there, and my father was there, and he didn't know all the rules, so we exploited that also,
Of course.
which was fun. But he was there, and I think for my brother, my mother was working far more. Mississippi Masala was like one film that she was doing with Meera Nair. Otherwise, she was there. She was a PTA chairperson. She was there for every school requirement. We went on holidays together every year. I think for my brother, she was perhaps more absent than either of them would have wanted. But that's the way it is.
And what I've heard is that your dad was pretty strict as far as money matters are concerned. You guys were not spoiled kids at all.
His favorite word was no. So you had to make sure you had to ask the question, which my sister never learnt. But I learned how to frame the question.
Okay.
You never leave an open-ended question like, can I do this? No. So you have to say, I'm going to Priyanka's house for a couple of hours. I'll be back at 6 o'clock. There's no question. And then he's like, before you know what's happening, like, so you have to work it a little bit.
So I had a very pleasant memory. I didn't realize at that time that, he didn't give many interviews. So,
No.
Yeah. So when I interviewed him in Bhopal, and Rajiv Gandhi was coming to campaign for him that day. So I did the interview, and then before I did the interview, I went with your mom in a Jeep.
Yes.
Open Jeep, because she was campaigning for him.
Right.
And so she said, come inside, and said, because I was following her in the Jeep, in my car. So she said, no, you come inside and sit in the Jeep with me. So she was standing, and I went and sat down. And when I sat on her sari by mistake. So the pleats all came off, and I was like so apologetic, because there are not million cameras those days, but there are lots of cameras, right? So I sat on her thing, and I sat on her pleats. I'm deviating now, but anyway.
That's fine. You can choose to edit it out or not.
So she yanked it, and she said, So I said, I'm so terribly sorry. And, like the people around Begum Sahiba ki saadi pe baith gayi kind of thing. I died at that time. I was just a young reporter at that stage. So she was like, it's okay. In politics, these things happen. Very kind of her. And she continued.
And she continued. She can tie her own sari, which is something I can't do.
But she campaigned quite a bit for him.
She must have. I can't remember. This was in the 80s.
Yeah, and yes. And at that time, everybody said that she should have been the one who should have been fighting the election, because your dad was so laid back. He wouldn't get out of the house till 2.
Yes.
And then since the PM, he was not PM then, Rajiv Gandhi is coming in the evening at 8 o'clock. So he didn't get out till 2 or 3 o'clock. He was like, I kept waiting ki bahar niklenge. 11 o'clock at night he got out.
Really?
Yeah, he got out late night when Rajiv Gandhi came. She was out all day in that heat in May.
Yeah. She's always been a very hardworking person from a very young age.
It didn't matter at all. She had her retinue with her. But it didn't matter at all that it was in that heat.
No, but shooting also, there were no vanity vans. And they would sit, and she was telling me just yesterday, she said, there'd be one big pankha on the set, and, all the heroines would hold their hair and walk past it, because, then when shooting with Satyajit Ray, you'd go locations, walk sometimes 15 minutes, half an hour to get to that perfect location, because you couldn't maneuver. Now they'd be like, oh no, we're not doing this. People have 3 vans, and it's far more luxurious.
I know, and it's very expensive. I believe producers are like cribbing and talking on all the podcasts saying that
it can be.
I'm sure you'll also get one of these producers who will come and use your platform to crib about.
What fun!
To say that things are getting out of hand.
The entourage.
Yeah, as compared to even South India, I believe it's not that. Even though they're movie crazy.
I've heard.
Out there, but I believe
we're probably hearing the same stories. Yeah.
Same story.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying doing the podcast?
I'm loving doing the podcast. Like, I'm learning so much, and I've always enjoyed nonfiction. To read, to write, to consume. I feel like it improves me as a person, and I'm just meeting lots of wonderful people. And every week, we're learning about something new. So we've done menopause, we've done menstruation, we've done women in journalism, we've done women in politics. We've done women in finance. We're talking about the environment and ecofeminism. These are not things I know a lot about, but I feel like I spend 6 days reading up and thinking about it, and questions that the Aam Aadmi would have.
But it's not restricted to just women.
It's called All About Her.
It's okay.
So we have two people. That's the format. And you have one phenomenal woman who's dealing with a particular issue. So it's issue-based. For example, if it is perimenopause, then you get somebody who's going through perimenopause. And then you get a gynecologist who gives you expert advice. And then you have a chat about it.
Your sister-in-law also doing that. Karina is also doing the talk show. It's over.
Yeah, I think that was so this was something that I just wanted to do without any sponsor, without any, it was purely just the idea to have conversations about these issues. I think hers was with a particular brand and a particular, and I think it was time bound. Whereas I would like this to be just ongoing.
Okay. Any pressures that come in because of family being famous, that you're expected to do a certain thing, get the celebrities? You're not getting celebs. You're doing Aam Aadmi, Aam Aurat conversations.
I feel like generally when you're putting something out there, they feel like the person sitting across from you, the more followers they have, the more famous they are. For people on social media, it's not necessarily about being a big actor. They want to know what your followers are like on whether it's Instagram or YouTube, because then they want to tap into your audience. So the advice always is get somebody who is a known face, who has a good following. But for me, I really feel like I'm more interested in the conversation. I want it to be an authentic, relatable, actual conversation with somebody who may or may not be famous, as long as they're willing to share. I feel like some people who are public figures are a little more guarded, for good reason also. Because you are open to a lot of judgment and a lot of feedback, and it may or may not damage you in some way. So they have a lot more to consider. Perhaps people who are new to this don't think about all those things, and they're not accountable to so many people. So my idea is to just get somebody who's articulate, of course, who's not going to get camera shy, and who'll be able to spend an hour or two.
Your mom will come in?
My mother's come.
Oh, she's come in already.
She's come.
Okay.
So because it's called All About Her, we had one episode which was 3 generations of her. So I had my mother, I had myself, and Sarah. And we just spoke about what it's like to be her then, and now.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Yeah, it was nice.
And was she like correcting you, stopping you? Was that happening? Like a mom-daughter thing? Or
she has given up correcting and stopping now. Little bit, she said, I must correct you once only.
Okay.
And then it's up to you whether you want to. It's very hard. I'm a mother now too. It's very hard not to correct. And it's very hard not to stop. It comes from a good place, But ever since she's had a cataract surgery, things have become tough. Because now she sees everything. And now she sees that my eyebrows are too thin, or that, what I'm wearing. Earlier, I used to get away with a lot more.
Okay, I thought that was a sympathy cataract.
No, it's new challenges for me.
Okay.
Yeah. And now she can see, acha, you threaded your eyebrows and they're too thin. And I was like,
Okay. I've seen that, the one, I think it was Karan Johar's show, right? Where she and Saif.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. And the number, I think I'm going to see that all over again to see how many times Saif rolled his eyes.
Did
that conversation. Really? He was like, oh my God, stop. Kind of a thing. And she was unstoppable.
No, but she is unstoppable.
How is she as a grandmother?
She's so, I was going to say, much easier as a grandmother than she was as a parent.
All
but aren't they
moms
all? Yeah. I was like, why aren't you so relaxed with me?
Yeah.
And I went to Sri Lanka with Kunal for some work that we had to do. And I said, I think it's one of the few times I left Inaya with my mother, who I trust very hard because she was a taskmaster with me. Like, must finish this, must finish your homework, must do your classes. And there was one piano recital I had to go to. And I said, of course, Badi Amma, which is what Inaya calls her, will ensure that she goes. And Inaya said, I don't want to go. And Badi Amma said, fine, we'll go out for lunch instead. I said, what? What do you mean? This was very important for her to go to.
No rules for grandkids.
No rules, and let her do it, and let her stay up, and let her. So
but that's the nicest part about being a grandmother, right?
So I believe so.
Yeah. It is.
She's nice. She's not too indulgent, which I also appreciate.
Okay.
We're both similar schools of thought, which is 8 p.m. bedtime, and read, and not too much noise, and
When did you meet Kunal, and how did that happen?
I met him at the Taj Land's End,
Okay.
specifically because we were both signed to do a film, and they said, okay, let's all have a meeting of the cast. And so in a coffee shop, we met for the first time. I saw him. He's a man of at then was a man of few words, and it takes time to open up. And he took a long time to open up, so I thought he was very shy.
Snob. Okay.
No, I just thought he didn't have very much to say.
Okay.
And that he's, perhaps a little boring.
Huh.
And
He has so much to say.
but this was 17 years ago.
Okay.
When we met.
Huh.
And he was, it took even longer then for him to open up.
Okay.
And also different fashion style then. There were these
Grunge.
big belt buckles. No, there was like jeans, big belt buckles, and like a time when, I don't know, he had long curly hair, which I did like. I thought he was very cute. I thought he was very attractive and charming, but I really didn't think that we would ever have much in common, and that we would probably like not really hang out.
I mean, he was into a biking thing and he was doing television and all, right, at that time?
He was not doing television, he was doing films. He had just done Superstar, and he was doing Jai Viru. Then we did this film called Dhoond Tere Jaoge. And luckily we were signed to do a film immediately after that called 99 with Raj and DK. And on that film set, we actually spent more time talking, and I think went out for a couple of meals. If that film would have not happened, then we would not be together today, because on Dhoond Tere Jaoge for those 2-3 months, we must have spoken 10 words to each other.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't imagine him being a person who speaks 10 words to anybody. Like,
No, I
he's
think
like
also
10 in a minute.
He thought, this girl has nothing. I mean, I think I was writing something on a laptop, and he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm writing an article for the Oxford magazine."
You wrote a book too, right?
Ji.
Yeah. What was that book about?
The Perils of Being Moderately Famous.
Moderately famous.
And just a little, like a few 10, 12 chapters on being me.
Yeah.
In case people are interested. So it was just a little bit about family and the sort of royal heritage, a little bit on the Tagore lineage, and then a little bit on studying at Oxford and moving to Mumbai from Delhi, and films, marriage, and,
Does it weigh on, who does it weigh more on as the heritage part of it? Like, is it your brother or your mom?
I don't think it weighs on anybody so much. I think I can certainly speak for myself that I enjoyed as a youngster growing up. All young girls enjoy playing princess and dressing up. And I said, I am a princess. Although I was born in 1978 and princely titles were abolished in 1971. So my brother technically was born a prince. I was not, but I still felt like I can still have some claim to royalty. And I was a student of history, so I enjoyed the historical aspect of it. And then seeing it, develop and evolve into modern India. And then what happened with Bhopal and with Pataudi, and seeing that evolve, and seeing my father evolve and sort of become Mr. Khan, and our houses become smaller and smaller and smaller, and all of that, just observing all of that. I thought it was interesting, and also then made me feel like, nothing really stays forever, and it's very important. Therefore,
What's happened to the Bhopal house? Finally? Gone?
No, there's lots of...
it's still in court?
The palace became the university, and all of Bhopal is, I think there's a lot of court cases and litigation.
It's still in court?
Yes.
Okay. That's where I did the interview. In the palace.
So they are. It wouldn't have been the palace
grounds.
because the palace became the university. There was a Flagstaff house that we used to live in.
Maybe that, yeah.
It was probably that.
There were horses in the back and things like that.
Yes.
That's the one.
Yes.
Where I did the interview.
It's beautiful. My brother actually spent his first 5 years in Bhopal.
There were those gorgeous paintings and things on the wall there. Are they
beautiful homes?
Could you retrieve any of that, or is it?
So I think that everything that is in Bhopal is still in Bhopal.
Okay.
But there was Bhopal growing up. There was Pataudi growing up. There was Delhi, of course. My mother lived in Mumbai. So there were lots of things.
And your mother's side, the Tagore connection. What was that? How is she? Tell me again. How is she related?
Rabindranath Tagore had, I think, about 14 siblings, and his brother, Goganendranath Tagore, who was a painter and brought Cubism to India, actually. He was Amma's great-grandfather.
Okay.
So Rabindranath Tagore would have been her great-granduncle. And he was very close to my grandmother, and both my grandmother and my grandfather, my mother's parents. But my grandmother was very close to him. And they spent time together in Shantiniketan, and we have some photographs of them together. And he wrote 2 poems for her, for Ira, my grandmother, and then signed something which then my grandfather threw away. And my grandmother was very upset with him for a very long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
What a thing to do.
I know. But then some husbands do these things.
Okay. Do you speak Bengali? No.
Are you going to speak to me in Bengali?
No.
Then I can say yes.
Yes. You acted in your first movie was Bengali.
Yes, but
right?
I was very mute. If you see the film, I again say there's one monologue. And then even in the film I did after that with Ritu Panagosh, that was called Antarmahal.
Okay.
And there was Jackie Shroff.
He doesn't speak Bengali.
He does not speak Bengali. He had a very long mustache
Huh.
and he held a cat. And whenever he had to speak, I think he just brought the cat up into frame. And then there was someone under
That's
the table
hilarious.
that would prompt him, and it was lots of fun. And there was Abhishek Bachchan,
Yeah. Who doesn't speak
who also
Bengali?
doesn't speak Bengali,
But
but his
has
character is
Bengali
speaking Hindi.
connection, right?
Of course,
Yeah.
Jayadi, and
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
But he was not required to speak also Bengali. He was speaking Hindi, and he played a potter. And there was my character's Choti Bahu, very demure, very mute, lots of crying, and which I do very well. So that was fine. That was not a problem.
Okay.
But
your
to answer your
mom-
question, no, I don't speak
Your
Bengali.
mom speaks Hindi with that Bengali accent. When I was in school, they used to ask me to, speak. So I used to do a Zeenat Aman mimicking. I used to do a
Really?
Sharmila Tagore mimicking.
Oh,
everything.
can you do one now?
No, absolutely not.
I can't either.
But I would do this because she very distinctly.
Yeah, very her
Her
voice.
Hindi had that
Little twang to it.
twang. Yeah.
So her
Bengali.
first language is Bengali. And even now, two things she only does in Bengali, which is Hisab Kitab, like her ginnowing will always be in Bengali, and loses her temper in Bengali, which she doesn't do anymore, and her doctors advised her not to because it's bad for her vocal cords. So she's not raised her voice in a very long time, but way back, probably in the days when, she didn't with you when you stepped on a sari. But
she didn't.
No, but she used to be a lot more passionate in those days. And that was all in Bangla. So when everyone says Bangla is such a sweet language, we're like, not really.
No.
No.
You just have to watch a football match or go to
Yeah, exactly.
or go to a rally, cover
Yes.
a rally, political
Yes.
rally in Calcutta, and you know how sweet the language is. But of course, the food is amazing.
Of course.
And of course,
She cooks also very well, my mother.
And yeah,
Yeah.
So are you the cook in the house, or is Kunal the cook?
Can I say yes? Does somebody?
It's okay.
Do people write it? I don't know. I feel like cooking is huge.
It's expected to be.
No,
right?
it's a life skill.
Yeah.
I'm saying not as a woman to impress your husband or anything,
Yeah.
but just to be able to survive.
Yeah.
You must be able to cook, and I
Yeah.
can't. I can probably make dal chawal. I know the theory. I think it's.
But your brother does cook, right?
He cooks very well. Kunal cooks very well.
Huh.
We've sort of turned the gender stereotype
Good.
on the head.
That's
I never
nice.
felt. I'm not a foodie also.
Huh. I know Kunal said that also, that he's the one who loves.
And
He's-
it's his love language.
Huh.
He has to, he's one of those people who has to not just eat, but he has to feed.
But that's also very Kashmiri.
Is it?
Yeah, to have that. And it's very heavy food. That
That
food
it
is very rich.
Yes. And they
Kashmiri.
love cooking. And my mother-in-law also is very good at cooking. Kunal is very good.
And they cook copious amounts.
They
Kashmiri
wake up at
people-
4:30 in the morning. She
Yeah.
will wake up at 4:30 in the morning and she will cook 8 dishes
Yeah.
all by herself.
Huh.
And then
Even if there are 3 people eating,
Yeah.
then they cook.
and they'll
you
come
know-
and serve you, so the rice comes pre-served,
Yeah.
like a big mound. And then I'm like, this is very carb heavy, and I'm trying to I'm having protein and vegetables this week, and there'll be a big mound of white rice.
Yeah.
And I was like, I haven't had white rice in a very long time. And there'll be 3 dum alus.
Yeah.
So then Kunal has to sit next to me so that I slip him
Slip him some of the
2 dum alus.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't eat 6 dum alus.
Your workout thing that you do, I mean, it's so. Let me tell you, the first time I saw you, I told this to Kunal. You were probably in school then. Your mom used to come to India Habitat Center.
Yeah, to the gym.
To the gym. And
I
I
used
used
to come
to go
with her.
there.
Yes.
And I've seen you there. And I remember the first time you came there was when I was on the treadmill. That time she brought you in and she was showing you the thing. And you looked so disinterested.
Really? But I was
In
playing
that gym.
sports.
Yeah. You were doing
this
that.
gym still is boring.
And I just felt that, oh my God, like she's so phenomenally fit. And now she's brought this daughter also. And I remember Saif also came
Really?
to India Habitat Center.
I used to
once.
go everywhere with my mother. I used to love spending time with her. I mean, I still do. But I was that child who she used to go to KP uncle's house and I used to take my book
KP
and go
kaun?
there. A friend of hers.
Acha, okay.
And she would go there at 7 o'clock every evening and I would go take my book and hang out with her.
Okay.
I enjoyed spending time with my parents.
So you tell me about your workout routine. Both of you work out hell of a lot. You
And
could,
Kunal.
and the baby too.
She does gymnastics.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very
So
good.
when you used to do the exercise, I remember her in between.
But
Those
she can
were
do
such-
things that, I mean, when you're 7,
Very supple.
you're very supple.
Yeah.
So she does a lot more than I do. But I enjoy working out. I've always enjoyed playing sports growing up. And then, of course, now it's very hard to find people to play sports with. And you need to have a committed group of friends who will turn up at the right time and then to find a court availability, etc., etc. I'm a part of, I think, 7 badminton groups on WhatsApp. And
What do you mean?
Like I have 7 groups saying badminton.
Where people say in Mumbai there are no courts, there are no
there are courts.
places, outdoor
There's courts.
places.
There's courts.
Yeah?
There's indoor courts for badminton. You can't play outdoor. But everywhere, there's about 7 places, 8 places easily that I've played in Mumbai. It's just finding people to have the time to play can be challenging, that coincide with your time. So therefore, and also I understand now as a woman in your mid-40s, strength training is very important. Cardio is not so important.
Okay.
So muscle building, strength training, which is why I started. In the last 2-3 years, I've been doing a lot of strength training.
Okay, so different kinds of...
Different kinds. Like you have to do certain things like deadlifts and, they're just things that are tough. And, you feel like, oh no, I have to go to the gym. But once you get there, and if you have a good trainer, which I do, who motivates you, and then you get the incentive of a husband who's 5 years younger than you, who pushes you a little bit without even having to push you, then all these things kind of come together and you say, okay, I'll go.
He travels quite a bit on his own, right? He does his motorbike tours and all that.
Yes,
you
he
don't do
does.
that.
I
Can't, I mean...
No, I do. I mean, I don't enjoy biking. And these are things that I think he enjoys doing for himself. But I do enjoy traveling.
Okay.
And I do travel as well.
But it's like, it's not the... biking you can't do, I think, with a spouse when you have a kid. Because there are risks involved.
Yes.
And it is a tough thing. I mean, that's what I tell.
My parents would not take flights together. And then when they took a flight together, they would just come to us and say goodbye. And as young children, we were like, what's happening?
Yeah.
But, we all
No, but
we
it's
leave
a smart
together.
thing to do.
Yes. When we all, even now, like if Kunal and I have to go somewhere together.
Though road travel is more dangerous.
Exactly. Crossing the road can be equally dangerous.
Yeah.
And they say air travel is very safe. But, so yes, of course. And anyway, Kunal doesn't like, it's called pillion when you sit at the back. He doesn't enjoy that.
Yeah.
He says, I can take certain risks when it's just me. But if I have you or I with me, then I won't be able to do it.
Okay. Tell me one thing about this privacy thing that happened, because with when Saif's house was burgled and when that guy came in, everybody was like, has been talking about this, about safety aspect. Do you feel safe in Mumbai? Was it safety? Was it laxity? Or was it this, lack of privacy also, that everything is under the camera eye? So what did you feel at that time?
I mean, at the time, I was just, because we got the information in bits and pieces.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand for a while what was happening. And I think now, with hindsight, I think that it was a very random incident that happened. It was a lapse in security. And there was the person, the perpetrator, the thief, didn't know which house he was in. And I think that it was dark, so he didn't even realize this attack that took place. I think it was a lapse in the building security and in the flat security, which is, of course, across the country now, people have addressed these lapses. But it's weird because my own flat was burgled, was broken into 10 years ago. And Kunal caught the thief. And so for my mother, you think these things happen to other people. Yeah. But both her children's flats in Mumbai have been broken into.
What a nightmare.
Yeah. So then we feel like, it's quite close to home, literally.
Yeah.
But and in that case also, you feel like, I mean, it was a house that I don't live in anymore. When I lived in, it was on the first floor, so easily accessible to the road. And now, of course, grills and things have been put into place even in that building. But these things, in a Mumbai is quite a populated city. I lived on a road also where there's a hospital and there are people constantly walking.
Yeah.
But these things tend to happen around 3 or 4 in the morning when you're probably deep asleep.
But also, people know schedules, right? They know the paps are around all the time. So they know where you're leaving, what time your kid's going out,
Yes.
what time you're back.
Yes.
It's always in scrutiny, in
Yes.
camera scrutiny. And then I think some celebs also inviting the cameraman inside the house. Look at
Yes,
my
yes.
room. This is
Yes.
the balcony. This is my bedroom. So without realizing it, it's a nice thing to do, to be leading an open life, but it also opens yourself to risk. And
Absolutely.
I saw those videos later of very famous stars doing that, and I said, oh my God.
Yeah, why would you want to?
Yeah.
I feel like, of course, I understand that, if we want to live in a world where you should be able to do these things and
Yeah.
people should not take advantage of that. But as somebody who's also very open and trusting, that's me.
Yeah.
I would probably also do something like that. But my advice has been from people close to me, especially from Kunal, is that be a little vigilant, be a little careful. Hopefully these things will not happen, but don't overexpose yourself to these things. So we, as a rule, don't really shoot at home. As a result of that, we are protective when it comes to our daughter. There's lots of things happening now in the world with AI and image replacement. We just, it makes you feel uncomfortable in many ways. And of course, when it comes to your children, you are extra protective. So even when it comes to her, my experience has been good. Even when it comes to the media or it comes to the paparazzi, they have generally in India been respectful. And if you ask them, in my experience, then they have respected that. There was an instance when I think we were by a swimming pool somewhere with Anaya, and she was very young, and there was some paps, and now of course they have long lenses and whatever. So, but he did go out and request them and said, we're swimming and whatever. Can you not take pictures right now? And we will come out and pose for a picture later, and they didn't. I don't know how long that will stay.
Yeah.
But at the moment, the experience has been all right.
Would you have the same rules for your kid like your mom had, that, or your dad? No, pehle. First say no, and then don't get into films, don't do this. Would you do that?
I feel like, as I said, they never said no, but their disapproval was, for me also, my disappointment, I try very hard not to show. But like when I didn't go to a piano recital, I was like, oh, it's so disappointing. And I shouldn't, because she's her own person and she's very young and she has to find out what she truly enjoys doing. And it should not be what I want her to do.
Yeah.
I know this in my mind, but I find it very hard.
But I love the pictures that you put out for, Rakhi
Yes.
and when you're all together.
Yeah.
It makes a very beautiful family, knock on wood. And that you celebrate all the festivals.
We do.
You're a multicultural family, multilinguistic, multi-religious, but you celebrate all the festivals together. For you, I guess it's important.
I think that that is how we grew up. In a multicultural environment, and we went to an international school where we had food festivals where we were eating food from Korea to South India to Africa, all over the world, and we had friends in our class from all over the world. So even just beyond the cultures in India, we were very international in our thinking and open to different ways of living life and different ways of practicing your faith. There was a lot of healthy respect for that. When it comes to celebrating things, we were not doing that at all until Inaya came into our lives. And then she, as a young child, wants any excuse to eat some meetha. And every festival comes with some meetha. So whether it's Eid and Sevaiya, whether it's,
Diwali
Ganpati and your Modak, she wants it all. So I suspect it's more about the desserts.
Okay, nice. All the best for your podcast. We
Thank
look forward
you.
to it. And the film that you're saying that you've
Yes,
acted in.
yes.
Look forward to that too.
Thank you so much.
All the best.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for watching or listening to this edition of the NR podcast with Smita Prakash. Do like or subscribe on whichever channel you've seen this or heard this. Namaste. Jai Hind. This episode is powered by easemytrip.com. Click here to watch the previous episodes.